in this part we will cover how to do the 3D model for the plan here. So the first thing to do is to just copy the plan to the other side so you can work with it on 3D. So instead of selecting each line separately, I will just come here to the layers and turn off the text and dimension layer because we don't need it in 3D. Turn off the hatch layer and then select whatever you want. So I just need to transfer this to the hatch layer because it was not in the hatch layer. So I'll just go home and change it here to hatch. If you did it from the beginning, you will not have this problem now. So now it's in the hatch layer, it's just hidden. I will select this part, CO, enter, and copy it to the other side. Then you can turn everything back on. Okay. Now we'll start with the 3D. The first thing to do is to change your workspace here from drafting and annotation to 3D modeling. If you couldn't find workspace here, you can click on this arrow and put a tick on workspace. Or you can come here and change to 3D modeling. Now, after changing the workspace settings, we can start. Usually it's preferred to start with the lower part, which is the step. Because the step here is a rectangle, this means we can easily use box. So I will use box, click on the first point, click on the second point, and then type the height, which is 150 as given in the section. So if you check the section here, you can see that the thickness of this slab is 450. And because we have 3 steps, this means 450 divided by 3, which means 150 each. So now we have the first step, as you can see. By clicking on Shift, clicking on Scroll, and moving your mouse, you can see that we have the first step. I'll just click on top again, and now I will select another box from this point to this point. The height for the second step is 300. I'll just make sure that it's correct. If it's correct, you can finish the second point. If you have the plan like this, you can come here to this arrow, click on it, and it will be back again like this. But you can work in all the directions, it won't matter. Now I will select box for the third step, which is from here to here, and the height is 450. Now we have those 3 steps. Of course, they need to be in the steps layer, or for now I'll just keep them in the step layer. So after you're done with this step, you can start with the floor slab. The floor slab is the area that you will walk on when you enter the house. So it's supposed to be 450, as you can see in the section here. So to do this, you need to start with a polyline. So PL, enter to activate the polyline, because we cannot use box. Then we need to use polyline plus extrude. So polyline, enter, start at any point you want. I'll just start from here. Go around all the outer corners of your plan, just from outside. You don't need to go inside because we need only the borders. So this point, and then when we come to this part, we have an arch here. For this curve or this arch, you need to go down to the command panel and select arc here. When I select arc, it will give me this shape. Now we already have the first point, we just need to come to the second point, click, now we have it. Then you can select close. After this, now you have your line, you can select it and then press on extrude and type 450 for the height. Now this will give you a solid surface, which is the floor slab. If you change it to conceptual, you can see it like this. So whenever we want a solid filled shape, we need to start with a polyline and then extrude. The next thing to do is the walls. For the walls, we will always use polysolid. So I will just click on polysolid, and then don't forget to change the settings here. We need to change the height to, as we can see in this section, 3000, so 3000, and enter. Then we need to change the width for 200, which is the standard that we used in the plan. And then we need to change justify to either left or right. So it's up to you. I will select right, for example. You can start from the 3D like this, or you can start from the top view. It's up to you. The only difference is if you start from the top view, you need to go back to the 3D and move your wall up. So I will do this step. It will be an extra step, but just so you can see what will happen. I will click on top. Now I'm in the top view. I will change the view to 2D wireframe. Select polysolid. Make sure that the height is 3000, width is 200, justify is left or right. Now I will come and select the wall. Sometimes when you come to draw, you can see like something is happening. There is a blue border around your object. This means that you are working above the ground. So what you need to do is press on F6. When you press on F6, you can see here it says dynamic UCS off. You need always to make sure that dynamic UCS is off so you don't work on any other direction and the wall will not be correct. So make sure that dynamic UCS is off. Then start from any point you want. Go in this direction until you reach the curve part, because we have a curve part here. Now you can select arc, select the end of your curve here. Even if it shows that it's from the midpoint, when you click on it, it will be inside. Now to go back to straight lines, you need to select line from here. The same in polyline, the same step you will do it in polysolid. To go from arc to straight line, you need to select line. Then click on this corner. After this, you need, because you reached the first point, you need to select close. When you click on close, you will get the lines correct. After we go to the parapet wall, I will show you what to do when you have it, or when the wall is not closed, what to do if it disappears. For now, we have the walls. I will change it to conceptual. Now, if you select the wall, you can see that it starts from the zero, from the ground, but we need it to be above 450. As you can see, 3000 is above 450. It doesn't start from here. It starts from here. So I will select the wall and type move, M for move, enter. Now you have two options. You can either come here, select this point, and then select the upper point, and now it will be up. Or you can select the wall, M, enter for move, click anywhere here outside, and then move your cursor up or your mouse up. You can see plus Z. Now you can type 450, enter, it will go up by 450. If I change the layer here to slab and change the layer here to walls, you can see the difference. You can see that they are above each other. Okay, so they are above each other. You cannot have them all on the ground. Make sure that your wall is above the slab, then you can continue working. Now for the roof slab, as you can see, we have these dotted lines here. So I will go up to the top view, then change back to 2D wireframe. Because the shape is different than the floor slab, we cannot copy it. We need to create another polyline. So PL, enter, select any point, and go all around your shape. here, here, until you reach the curve here. Select the first point or the quadrant, then arch, and then select the end point, then go back to line, and then you can continue here, here, and then close. Then select the line, extrude, and you can see that the height is 200 for this slab, so I will just type 200. Now if I go to conceptual, press on shift and scroll to rotate, you can see that it's on the ground, so we need to move it up. I will just select any corner that we can see clearly. Select first your slab, M for move, select this point here, then go up to this point. Now it's up. After this, you can either start with the parapet wall or with the columns, it's up to you. So I will just do the parapet wall. I will start with a polysolid. As you can see in this section, the height is 800, so height 800. Make sure that the width is 200 and justify is left or right. Now you can start from the ground, from the top of you, and then move it up, or you can just start from the 3D. So I will just click here, click on this part here. If you cannot see, you can rotate your view. Then go to this part, switch to arc, and then come here, switch back to line, and then see, sometimes you get a wrong line. If you have any wrong lines, you can always go back by Ctrl and Z instead of repeating. So arc, I need to select this point here, and then go back to line, select this point. Make sure that the points are correct. You can always zoom in. Do not zoom out and try clicking. Always zoom in. Make sure that the points are correct. Then when you reach this point, sometimes when you click on close, it will just disappear. So if you have this issue, just do it again. When you reach this point, do not select close, just press enter. When you press enter, it will stop. Now you have this one, all the lines all around, all the parapet walls. You're only left with the last one. Select polysolid again, make sure all the dimensions are correct, and then just close the line from here to here and press enter. Now you have this parapet wall and you have the other. To join them all together so you don't see these lines in between, you can select union, then select your wall or the parapet wall and the second part, and then press enter. Now they are all one object. You can select them and move them to walls. Of course, don't forget to move this one to slab or whatever layer you have. Now we only need to add the columns. For the columns, they are just squares. Sometimes you will have them as circles, so you can use cylinder. Because we have a box, or a square, I will use box. Select the first point here, the second point here. Now you can either go and calculate the height, or because we already know that the column will reach this slab, you can select any corner on the slab here, any corner down the slab. So if I select this one, the column will automatically go up to this point. Then just select the column, CO enter for copy, select any part here, and select the same point on all the other columns. So this one here, here, again for all the columns. When you are done, just click on enter to finish. Now after this we are only left with the doors and windows. So I will go to top of view, change the visual style to 2D wireframe, and start drawing. So I will start with a box for this window. For example, the window starts from here to here, and then it goes up. The height for the window is 1500, so I'll just type 1500 and enter. Then I need to move it up 450, so it will be here, plus 500, so it will be in the correct spot. So now I have the box here. Select the box, M for move, and enter. Click anywhere outside, so it will be easier for you to see plus Z or to move up. Click anywhere here. Go up and make sure that you can see plus Z. Sometimes it will just be like this. You cannot use any angle. Make sure that you rotate your view so you can see it easily. Make sure that your polar tracking is on, and then you can see plus Z. Now 450 plus 500 is 950. Enter. Now you have this box here. Select the box, copy it to all the other windows. I will select this point down here and then put it on this corner, then this corner, and this corner. Then I will do another one for the vertical windows. So box from this corner here, and then to this corner here, going up 1500. Select your window, M for move, click anywhere, make sure that you have plus Z, and then 950 and enter. Select your window, CO for copy, select any point, select the same point on the other windows, and now you have all your boxes. The same for the door. You can do it from the top of view, you can do it from here, it's up to you. So I will select box. This is the first point here, the opposite corner, going up 2000, which is the sum of 1500 for the window plus 500, the distance between the ground and the window. So the total is 2000. Enter. But now it's on the ground, so we need to move it up by 450. So select the box, M for move, click, and then move up 450. Sometimes when you have the box like this and you make the subtract, it will not be subtracted. You will have an error. In this case, you can just go back to the top of view, draw the box again and keep it in the correct position, and come here to this small arrow, click on it and move it a little bit up. The same for the other side. Click on the arrow and move it a little bit to this side. This will make your box have extra space or extra distance from this part and from inside, from outside and from inside. So when you subtract it, you can be sure that it will be subtracted. It will not be error, or you will not have any mistakes. So now we have all of them. For me, I prefer to work with 2D wireframe. If you want to work with conceptual, it's up to you. Select subtract, select the wall, enter, select all the windows and the doors, and then press enter. Now they are supposed to be correct. Just go back to conceptual, make sure that you can see inside. If everything is correct, then all what you need to do is put everything in its layer and you are done. So just change the layer for the columns, for the slab, for everything else, and we are done like this. I hope this video was useful for you. There is only one extra part, which is for plotting, and that's it.